Hello and welcome to Dr. Mix. On this video I'm going to show you how to create an evolving pad sound with the Reface DX. FM synthesis is great for doing this because it works a lot with the amplitude envelopes, so you can have sounds that evolve, really interesting textures and sounds that you can't get with any other form of synthesis. So here I have my initial voice, so let's try it out. Okay, simple sine wave. Let's go to our algorithms, and for this one I'm going to use algorithm number 8, and the reason why is because these two operators 1 and 3, they don't interact with each other, so I can have great control over my low end. What's more, I have two modulators, so I have modulators 2 and 4, and these are my extra layers for my sound. These will introduce the interesting part of the sound. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go to my edit page right here, and I'm going to go to my envelope rate. So the first thing I want to do for a pad sound is, of course, I want to have a slow attack. So I'm going to make my attack really slow on my first operator, like this. And the second thing that I absolutely need for a pad sound is long release. So that's what I'm gonna do right here. Yeah, that's roughly what I need for a pad sound. I mean, I can make it longer or I can make it swell a little bit slower, but that will work for now. So let me show you what envelopes I've created for the rest of the operators so that we can save a little bit of time. So let's go to my operator number 2. As you can see, it has a different envelope, and this is number 3. It's almost the same like number 1. And this is number 4, so this progresses in a completely different way, as you can see from the envelope. Now let's go to our level page, and I'm going to start introducing the other modulators. Let's try number 2. See, it fades in really nicely. Now that sounds alright, but maybe I want to change the frequency of the second operator. Let's try it. And maybe I want to add some feedback. Let's add some feedback. See, I get some nice overtones now. Why don't we add some to the first one as well? To get a nice fat round sound. Cool, but let's say I want to add an LFO to the sound, an amplitude LFO. Let's go to our edit page again, and then we'll select the LFO page, and there we go. Let's add some LFO to the second one. Just to give a little bit of movement to the sound, it helps a lot when you create pads like this. And let's try and introduce the other elements as well. Let's go to our third operator here. And see, these guys don't interact with each other. So now I can go and say I want to make this 1 octave lower. So I can get some really nice low end. And now maybe I want to add the 4th one. Like this maybe. You can experiment with different values, but I mean, every single increment will give you a slightly different tone. Let me change the frequency of the second one, the 4th one as well. See how it fades in? So now let's try and fiddle with the feedback. All right. So we get a nice color now. Alright, so now let's make it a bit more interesting. As you can see, these operators come in according to their envelopes here. So now let's go to our LFOs again, and let's try and create something interesting. Let's try and select a different wave. bit faster. Let's add some pitch modulation as well. A little bit of it. I'm looking for animation here. But you know what? Maybe I don't want this to happen on all the operators, but just on the last one. So just on the fourth one. Alright, so now we've set everything up. I can go and say, let's go and add some effects, for example. Let's go and add, maybe we can add a delay. Maybe a reverb as well. It's a pad after all. Maybe I want to make the envelope of operator number 3 a bit slower, so I'll go to my operator right there, my envelope, and just make it a little bit slower. You know, I'm fine-tuning the sound here. So as you can see, you can create some really interesting textures. You can do sound design, you know, nice film scores with it. This would be a great intro for a track, for example, great sound for an intro. And if you experiment with the different feedback levels and the frequency of the operators, you can create some really interesting sounds. So if I detune this one, for example, I get a completely different sound. It's really ominous, isn't it? So there you go, here's one technique on how to create an evolving pad sound on the Reface DX. Thanks for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe, and visit us at drmix.com.